How's it going out there, YouTube land and also some truly me lands? Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're going to be talking about another 1001 Movies to See Before You Die film. And this one happens to be a silent film from 1923. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Rizzle, TikTok, all those great places where I pretty much post on a regular basis. So definitely check that out. As always, people, let's get right into this! So welcome one and all to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, we're going to be talking about and doing a review of a 1001 Movies to See Before You Die film from 1923 called Our Hospitality. Yeah, Our Hospitality. Yeah. So this came out in 1923 as a silent, of course, film that was in black and white. That was none other directed, once again, by Buster Keaton himself, along with another gentleman that went by the name of John G. Blindstone, who actually directed over 100 films from 1915 to his death in 1938, which I thought was pretty impressive. But mostly this was directed by Buster Keaton himself, and basically, you know, we all know a lot of his films, Sherlock Jr., etc., etc., a lot of other ones that he's done over the years. But this film is really fun and enjoyable for a silent film. It had a lot of great action, lots of great storyline, and just overall is a really fun Buster Keaton film. Now, of course, this film has a really great cast. You know, of course, it starts off with the amazing Mr. Buster Keaton! Oh yeah, Buster Keaton! Woo, Buster Keaton! Yeah! So Buster Keaton, like I said, he was a huge part of the silent film era. He directed so many different films that he did all his own stunts. He did all of his own writing majority of the time. He did most of the directing himself. He was just a master, you know, maker of films. And each of his films, you know, they range from 20-something minutes to over an hour and 15 minutes. I think one of the longest films he made was about an hour and a half. But overall, he directed so many films over the years. And, you know, of course, he's directed so many great films that are just super enjoyable, too, as well. And I just think that he has directed a lot of great films that were so enjoyable, so fun, and I just think he had a really good eye for directing, and overall I think he was just a really great director, but also a great actor and stunt performer. And I thought one of the cool little factoids about this film was there was many of the stunts that he did in this film, which he did himself. A couple of them were actually really dangerous, and a couple of them he almost died. There is a scene in the film where he actually is swinging down on a rope to capture the main actress that was in the film. He actually did that stunt himself. He actually strung himself up and actually went flying to capture that actress in that scene. That was really him, but it was done on like a small sound stage that they did used at the time. Also, there's a scene where he happened to be in the river with the actress, and they're like floating down the river and stuff like that. Where actually at one point, when he was going through the river and had to go down a waterfall, basically he ended up almost drowning, and ended up actually being found a few miles down on the rocks to the side, not breathing, but thankfully he was able to be revived. So that was kind of crazy at the time. You know, they didn't have the protocols they have today. But at the same time, still, I think it's really fantastic that he took those risks and did that, and he gave us some really great performances that we get to see throughout this film. But if you are a huge Buster Keaton fan, I definitely recommend checking out this film. He did a really superb job in this film. He was really enjoyable, and he did a great job of directing and a great job of acting it as well. The next actor I'd like to talk about, or actress that was in this film, is none other than Buster Keaton's wife at the time, Miss Natalie Tamaraj. Oh yeah, Natalie! Woo, Natalie! So Natalie Tamaraj, who was actually Buster Keaton's wife at the time, and also was pregnant at the time with one of their kids when they were filming this film. So towards the end of the filming, they actually had to basically film her a certain way so it didn't look like she was growing for her character that was in the film, which I thought was a cool little factoid. But Natalie Tamaraj, she was actually in a lot of films over the years. She only did mostly silent films. She did a few, and she pretty much retired after the mid to late 20s. And overall, though, she always did great performances. She was always enjoyable, and she brought a lot of great acting to her characters in the films that she was in. Now, another film she was in, actually, that I think she was really good in was a great film that came out a few years prior called Intolerance. Yeah, Intolerance. Yeah. She played one of the characters in one of the many segments of this film, and she was just really superb in it. I really enjoyed her character. I enjoyed what she brought to the characterization, and, you know, even though it's not a actual speaking film, still her expressions and how she acted in the film and her presentation just worked really well, and you could really feel what she was feeling in the film, and I thought she just did an overwhelming great job in the performance she performed. And I just thought that she did a really fantastic job. She did a great job and just really brought to life that character Intolerance. If you haven't seen Intolerance, definitely worth a watch too. Another 1001 movie to see before you die. That's really enjoyable and very interesting to see, you know, almost 100 plus years later because the times were so different and it just was really fantastic. But Natalie's performance in it was really superb. So definitely check out her performance in that. She did a really good job. But overall, I thought she did a really good job in this film. I really enjoyed her character. I thought she worked really well with Buster, and I thought they did a good job of just bringing this character to life and giving us a very decent performance that definitely I feel is a performance to definitely check out as a part of the 1001 Movies to See Before You Die. Definitely check it out. If you haven't seen anything Natalie has been in, definitely check out this film, Our Hospitality. She was really good in it. The next actor I'd like to talk about that was in this film is none other than Mr. Buster Keaton's father himself, Mr. Joe Keaton. Oh yeah, Joe Keaton, woo, Joe Keaton, yeah! Joe Keaton, woo, Joe Keaton, yeah! So Joe Keaton actually has been in a majority of his son's films up until the time he died, and was pretty much a prolific silent film actor, was in vaudeville and stuff like that, and just was a really amazing actor himself that was just as talented as, you know, as his son. And I feel that, you know, Buster definitely got a lot of his greatness from his father, and Joe proved that in many of the films he was in. Now, another film he was in that he actually did a really good job in was another Buster Keaton film, and he actually played a really fun character in the film that just I found really enjoyable. And that, of course, is the film called Sherlock Jr. Yeah, Sherlock Jr. Yeah. He was absolutely awesome, this Joe. He did a great job. I loved his character. I loved his presentation. And I just thought he did a really fantastic job. And just was really enjoyable at his character. And really brought a great characterization to his character. If you haven't seen Joe Keaton in anything, definitely check him out in Sherlock Jr. He was really fantastic. But I really enjoyed him in this film. He played one of the characters that's trying to kill Buster Keaton's character, and he just was really enjoyable and really fun, and I just thought that he did a really fun job. I thought that a lot of the dialogue that he was presenting, even though there was no talking, you can still see it very well in his expressions, and Joe did a good job of expressing it in his scenes and giving us a really outstanding performance for a silent film. Really enjoyable. If you haven't seen Joe Keaton, I think definitely check him out here in Our Hospitality. It was really fantastic, really enjoyable, and I thought he did a really overall good job. Another longtime collaborator with Buster Keaton was also in this film that did a lot of films with Buster over the years up until his death. This was one of his last films he worked on with Buster before he passed of a stroke, and that is the character actor known as Joe Roberts, and he was actually a really fantastic actor himself. He did a lot of vaudeville, he did a lot of silent films, but he was one of those great character actors that always popped up as some little small role and always brought a really just amazing performance to his small roles. I just wanted to throw that out in that honorable mention of Joe Roberts in this film. He was really a great addition to this film. But what is Our Hospitality about? Basically, the premise of Our Hospitality is a take on the Hatfield and McCoy's dispute, the actual two Western families that fought against each other for many years. This is basically a comedic take on that situation, and Buster Keaton's character is supposed to be one of the other family's characters that the other family's trying to kill. And basically it's about Buster Keaton's character trying to survive and not be killed by the other family. It was really done well. I mean, they did very accurately, kept it pretty true to the actual nature of the real Hatfield and McCoy's dispute. They did a good job of bringing that to life and giving us a comedy version of it. And like I said, this movie just had so many amazing feats of great stunt work done in this film that just should be honored and should have gotten lots of Oscar nominations. You know, even when Oscars started being done, this still should have been considered for those because they were just so amazing for its time in 1923, and it just was a really enjoyable film. Giant 10 Goldie movie boxes up on this one, definitely worth the 1001 Movies See Before Die title. It's a really fun film. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out now. It's on YouTube. You can check it out, the full movie. It's really enjoyable, really fun, and a great Buster Keaton feature. So that's it for this review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. If this is your first time here, or you have been here before, don't forget to check out any older new videos you might not have seen by yet. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube and definitely want to help promote my channel, or help to, help out with the channel, or give some love to the channel, definitely check out my links down below, either from my Patreon page, where my patrons who become a patron of mine get all the extras and accoutrement that this channel doesn't get already, outtakes, bloopers, say what I do next, all that kind of stuff. Definitely check that out. And as always, people, if you're a horror movie fan, definitely check out the Horror Pack link, where you can get great horror films to your door every month for a great low price. Definitely check that out, too. As always, people, catch you in the next one.